question about that? I just saw a response.
I mean, I also, no, I'm agreeing with you that, sometimes as writers, we need a way into an essay that
Mm.
we've been wanting to write, because this isn't about the dogs. This is about social justice. This is about, as you keep saying, an oligarchy. This is about how a mother responds to her child about what is next. But
Mm.
as writers, we need to have it grounded, and you did
Yeah,
that so well. And you need to have a way in that is not scary, right? Relatable, empathetic.
Well, in that anyone can relate to being obsessed, calling Ivanka Trump a traitor. Yes, relatable. But I think we all had these obsessions at how we could make a difference, be it marching or calling Ivanka Trump a traitor. It just this opportunity to write an essay that could highlight a lot of the little things we think might make a difference in the disappointment we feel when it didn't move the needle. That for me was a gift from Washington writers to be able to put it down on paper.
well, we're so
Well, to
we're
be able
so
to say, to admit that we're vulnerable too. As you say at the end, I don't have a plan at this time. I don't even have a new walking route. I have nowhere to go. I am an American. This is my country. And now to quote Dwayne, and the taxes are too fucking high and they're
Mhm.
going for all the wrong things.
Mhm.
And I think we
Yeah.
need to take a break. But I love this essay, and I'm
Yeah,
so glad you
Thank you.
submitted it. Um, so
me
we will
too.
be right back after another very short message, actually from a fellow press in the Washington Writers Publishing, Washington Writers area. We'll be right back.
In Heaven Has No Ground, Andronikova writes a text that is infused in a sense of urgency, with the chaos of being a traveler in an unknown land, as if cut and pasted from leaflets of paper scribbled on a log, a bench, a cafe counter, a thigh. Its story is told straight, in a raw and unfiltered form, coming from the hand of the writer directly to the eye of the reader.
Welcome back, everyone. Check out Plum and Press. It's totally amazing. So we're here again with Dwayne Lawson-Brown and novelist Dana Rojas. My name is Jona Colson, co-president of the Washington Writers Publishing House, and I'm here with my amazing co-president Caroline Bock. And so to sort of talk about this last segment that we have, and we're diving deeper into our landmark anthology again called America's Future, which was published in September of last year, and Diana and Dwayne are both featured in the anthology. So I guess I have a really large question, which of course can have multiple answers, but it's kind of is a lot to what the title of our anthology speaks to, right? America's Future, and kind of going off of what we were just talking about with Diana and with Dwayne. Um, but as we all keep writing and keep thinking about the future, what is the future? Maybe what's the future in a sense of continuing this conversation, right? I'm sure many of us don't know, or we can imagine. We've seen movies, we've read other things, but maybe. And Dwayne, why don't you start? Like, how do you see the future, or the future that we can keep writing as we move forward?
Huge question.
Yeah.
I I think I think the first thing we need to do is envision a future. And right now, it can feel very difficult to envision a future because so much is happening in our present. So I've been finding myself writing a lot about where I am in the present, what matters to me most within this present time. How do we preserve and protect things that matter to us in this present time? And then in protecting that, the things in our present, we then get to build that future. So I think right now, for me, it's really about trying to document our present to prove that we were here, that we exist, that we are surviving, that people are fighting back, so that we can make it to a future that is worth being in, and being able to envision that future.
That's a beautiful
Mhm.
answer. Beautiful answer.
Yeah.
To be able
Yeah.
to kind of document where we are now so we can look back and say, wow, we survived this in
Mhm.
some. Diana, what do you think?
I mean, I think the future is vague, and I wish I had Dwayne's wherewithal to document what's going on. And I've actually retreated almost into myself. This essay was the first of about 12 that I wrote last year, where I examine facets of myself. So I've gone internal. I feel like if I can understand what makes me tick, maybe I can do something to affect change. But I, I'm a little hopeless. I know that sounds. I know that sounds admit, but I'm hopeless, and I'm speaking to you from Europe right now, and I keep thinking, why don't I just leave? And the truth is, one can't just leave. So, to Dwayne's point, you know, we need to witness. We need to say, yeah, this is what's happening, and maybe nothing I do will get us to the position we want to be in, but at least 20 years from now, maybe something I write, people understand a little bit more of where we were in this situation. And what happens in 20 years? I have the foggiest. I have no idea. I can't even imagine.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think, and this is to something you each wrote, just by writing and finding community and realizing you are not alone. You are not the only voice grappling with this. You bring others into the struggle. That's how I feel. And that's what I hope. I know Jona and I hope through a number of events we're planning with the press in the summer. This summer, that we are able to say that to people in person.
Mhm.
But Diana, you addressed it directly. You both have said in different ways, you're exhausted. How do you get past that lack of energy if you're writing to witness, if you're writing to document, if you're writing to understand what's going on yourself? The act of writing, just physically every day saying, I'm going to put pen to paper. I mean, that's an act of resistance to what I think larger forces would have us do nothing, to be paralyzed.
Yeah. I mean, I was a journalist at one point in my life, and that was it was my job to document what was going on and what was happening contemporaneously. Now I'm more dedicated to fiction, and honestly, I find that in writing fiction, maybe I've freed myself more to bear witness and to find that community because I'm freer. I am freer to imagine futures. I'm freer to imagine presents that don't exist, to imagine how people might act or react. And that's been helpful because imagination breeds ideas, and if I'm just reporting on what's happening on the ground, I would probably be more hopeless than I am right now, because I can imagine that maybe if this and that happens, we'll come out at a place that we're all happy with or happier with. So yes, in writing, in fiction, I have found my people, my community, people who are as in with their heads in the clouds as I am, imagining different worlds, different people, different ideas.
Yeah. And Dwayne, I love that. And Dwayne, how do you renew yourself? I mean, I love your crochet. I love that. I love that you're an activist in the community. We haven't talked a lot about that because here you're a poet with us. But you have many, many selves, my friend. You are
Yeah,
multitude.
honored. Thank you. I get refueled by being in spaces like this, being in community. Just like Diana mentioned, when you find your community, whatever that community may be, you then feel freer. You have that freedom to explore, imagine, and envision. And for me, I sing a lot of karaoke, and just being in random spaces doing random things refuels me so that I can continue the fight. Right? It can't just be down with insert injustice here your entire life, because that's just surviving. Um, we have to live at some point. We have to be able to thrive, and
Right.
so you know you'll catch me at a march or a rally, not as often as I used to be, because I'm getting older. And as we said earlier, there is a need to pass the baton, but there's also finding ways to like refuel so that you can show up in the ways that you can, by donating to causes, by cooking a meal for folks, by hugging somebody that's mourning. Just random acts of kindness mean a lot in this current world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with all of that. With what both of you said, I think finding community and events that we have coming up are really kind of really speak to that. We have a new anthology coming out soon. I'll let Caroline say that, which we hope is gonna bring us together and even more so and enrich it. So I really appreciate those answers.
I don't know. We may have to add karaoke, though, Jona.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe some karaoke in there.
I think we're missing. But I think that you do so much with your writing, both of you, to both inspire, but also to teach and pass the baton. I mean, I think we are looking at the next generation, and we want to bring them into the literary world and have them understand that this is a place their voice counts. That's why, we did things like America's Future, right? It has probably over a dozen writers who have been published for the first time were published with us, and so we're always thinking of ways to do both, to nourish our the great writers that you are, to talk to the next generation, to do new things. Jona mentioned we have a new mini anthology coming up called Capital Love, and it really looks at love as an antidote to political domination. Now, you two are not in it because we really tried to have some new writers in it. We love you both, but we are always looking to also feature new writers, and that will be out this May, and we will do a whole series of events. But we want you back with us. We want you reading with us. We want you in our community. You out there in the audience, and you, Diana and Dwayne, because you are just fantastic. You speak truth to power. You do it in a beautiful, meaningful, moving ways. I think, Jona, we had a great first pilot with our WWPH Talks.
Absolutely. This was great. Wonderful. I learned a lot, and we'll hopefully keep doing these and keep diving deeper.
Right, and keep reading these writers. Diana with her new novel coming out this year, Dwayne with his poetry, and we will be reading you and watching you. Thank you both for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I'd
Thank
like
you
to
for
thank
having
you
me. It's a
too.
joy.
Yes.
And
And thank
Roman
you.
is back, and that is Roman, our producer. So I think we are wrapped, right, Roman? I want to make sure our mics are live, so we want to keep smiling.
Yeah, we are wrapped. Thank you so much for participating. And this was an experimental version. The issues. We have a question from the audience. Where do we find the anthology?
Oh, okay. We find the anthology America's Future everywhere books are sold. It is in paperback, trade paperback, and it's an ebook. And if you go to our website, www.washingtonwriters.org, and buy it from us directly. Thank you, my friends. You can buy it from us directly. And we also have special discounts for educators. People are starting to use it in the classroom, which is exciting. And so please look for it, everywhere books are sold. Look for it at our website, which is at the best price possible. And please stay in touch with us. We have a little newsletter, our little lit magazine called WWPH Writes, and we are open for submissions, and we pay contributors.
Yes.
And
also,
we are.
yeah,
Go
check
ahead,
us
Joe.
out at the local festivals. We're all, the local festivals in DC and Maryland. We're going to be at Gaithersburg. We'll be at Pride. Of course, AWP is coming out. And in the fall, we'll have events. So please come and join us and say hello.
Okay. Thank you.
Are we good?
Okay, just a moment. One second.